Hello, and welcome to Homeownership, Section 1, Lesson 5, Jigsaw Groups. Today you will use Jigsaw Groups to read a variety of articles. In these groups, you will assess the claims and key findings of your article and the data source used to gather this information. You will also analyze what the data in all 4 articles says about the attainability of the dream of homeownership for all Americans. But before we dive deeper into this lesson, let's look at our culminating writing task. Through reading of the unit text and additional research, develop an argument in response to the unit question. Is the dream of homeownership viable for all Americans? Within a more focused subtopic area. Using information from your reading, develop an argumentative thesis supported by a series of evidence-based claims, including at least one counter-argument to an opposing perspective or position. Organize your thesis, claims, and evidence into a unified, coherent, well-reasoned argument that addresses a specific purpose and audience. Here are our learning targets for this lesson. Can you understand the problems facing the dream of homeownership for all Americans? Can you find key claims and assess their reliability? For this lesson, you will need your reading response journal, The Dark Side of Suburbia, and then the 4 articles that we're going to look at in our Jigsaw Groups. Having a secure job replaces homeownership as the key to being middle class. More U.S. households are renting than at any point in the last 50 years. 5 facts about millennial households, and minorities, immigrants, and homeownership. You will demonstrate your knowledge from previous text by writing your response to the text-specific prompt. Based on the text you have read and viewed, what Americans do you feel are left out of the American dream? Why is this? You will write your response in your reading response journal. You will support your response with evidence from the text. As you answer these questions, I want you to consider the following. Based on your response from the previous lesson, which Americans are renting instead of buying? Based on the articles, why do some Americans rent instead of buy? You will have 10 minutes to respond to this question in your reading response journal. You are going to read the thesis statement written in response to the question. Minorities are left out of the American dream because redlining and segregation have had lasting impacts on minority communities. Now I want you to look at the question on this board. What claims support this thesis statement? You will answer that question in your reading response journal. You will have 5 minutes to respond to this question in your reading response journal. Now you will reread The Dark Side of Suburbia and highlight evidence that supports one or more supporting claims. You will identify additional evidence that is needed to support the claims. As you do this activity, I want you to consider the following. What makes the evidence relevant? How is it supported throughout the article? You will have 5 minutes to complete this activity. Now you will write a draft paragraph that supports a claim and uses the evidence. You will write a topic sentence which identifies a supporting claim and how it relates to the thesis statement on the previous slides. You will write 1 to 2 sentences to introduce the evidence and elaborate on the topic sentence. You will integrate the evidence through direct quotation or paraphrase. You will write 2 to 3 sentences to explain how the evidence supports the claim. You will have 10 minutes to complete this activity. Now we're going to number off for Jigsaw Groups. You will start the jigsaw in your home group. Each person in your home group will have a number. This number is your jigsaw group. In your jigsaw group, you're going to consider the reading focus. What do recent trends in society and homeownership suggest about the viability of the dream for all Americans? We're going to have 3 groups, and one group will have 2 articles to read. Before reading Having a Secure Job Replaces Homeownership as the Key to Being Middle Class, 5 Facts About Millennial Households, Minorities, Immigrants, and Homeownership, and More U.S. households are renting than at any point in the last 50 years, you're going to answer the questions on the board in your reading response journal. For your assigned article, you're going to explain who is the speaker, what is the occasion, who is the audience, and what do you understand about the text based on this information? As you complete these questions, I want you to consider the following. What is this text mainly about? What is its topic? What do you learn about the topic as you read? What stands out as important in the ideas of the text? How do the ideas and information in the text relate to what you already think or know? In what ways has the author supported or not supported the ideas in the text? How are the ideas organized and sequenced, and what do they add up to? How might you summarize what you have read in this text? You will have 5 minutes to respond to these questions. As you read your assigned text, you will take notes in your reading response journal so that you can share a summary of the text with your home group. You will need to consider the reading focus. What do recent trends in society and homeownership suggest about the viability of the dream for all Americans? You will have 10 minutes to read your article or articles and take notes in your reading response journal. Now in Nearpod, you will share your summary of the information you learned in your Jigsaw group on the Collaborate board. You will need to consider the reading focus. What do recent trends in society and homeownership suggest about the viability of the dream for all Americans? You will have 5 minutes to share your summary in Nearpod.